Okay, so now let's try example number 3. We have the integral of sine raised to 4x cosine squared x dx 0 to pi over 2. So, ang pwede natin gawin dito is to use trigonometric identities or the trigonometric integrals, sines and cosines. But since na-discuss na natin yung sines and cosines, you can just do it on your own. Gawin nyo yung definite integral niya. But dito sa example natin dito sa definite integral, I will do a substitution of trigonometric identities. Okay, so I'll be using different trigonometric identities to solve for the integral of this function. Okay, so first i-break natin to. Breakdown natin si sine raised to 4x into sine squared x times sine squared x. So this will be equal to the integral of sine squared x times sine squared x cosine squared x dx, limits from 0 to pi over 2. So, why did I do that? Para pwede kong i-group ito and then I can find an identity for this one. So, recall natin, okay? Recall natin that sine squared x is equal to 1 minus cosine 2x all over 2. So, this is what we will substitute dito. However, since naka 2x to, kailangan 2x din tong mga to. So, how will we do that? Okay, recall ulit natin si sine 2x is equal to 2 sine x cosine x. Okay, so since sine cosine lang ito, cross multiply natin si 2. So this will be equal to sine 2x all over 2 equal to sine x cosine x. Okay. So ang purpose natin is para matulad yung identity natin dito sa ating initial na function. So ang gagawin natin is to square both sides. So this will be equal to sine squared 2x over 4, which is equal to sine squared x cosine squared x. So we can now plug in yung mga values dito. So this is equal to the integral of what is sine 2x, sine squared x, that is 1, minus cosine 2x all over 2 multiplied by sine squared x cosine 2x is sine squared 2x all over 4. And don't forget si dx natin. And limits from 0 to pi all over 2. So, from there, simplify natin, i-multiply natin to. So, this will be equal to the integral of sine squared x times 1. That is sine squared 2x minus sine squared 2x cosine 2x all over 4 times 2, that is 8 dx, limits from 0 to pi over 2. Now, since this is a constant, we can isolate that. So, this is equal to 1 over 8 times the integral of sine squared 2x minus sine squared 2x cosine 2x dx, limits from 0 to pi over 2. So, just like the basic integration, integrate natin sila separately. So, this will be equal to 1 over 8 times the integral of sine squared 2x dx, limits from 0 to pi over 2, minus the integral of sine squared 2x cosine 2x dx, limits from 0 to pi over 2. Okay? So, separately na lang natin silang i-integrate. Okay, so next slide. So, at the integral of sine squared 2x dx. Okay? So, this is equal to, recall muna natin yung mga identities natin. Recall that sine squared 2x is equal to 1 minus cosine 2x or sine squared x. Okay? 2x all over 2. Now, for sine squared 2x, lahat ng x dito, palitan natin ng 2x. Okay, so that will be equal to 1 minus cosine 2 times 2x all over 2. So this will be equal to 1 minus cosine 4x all over 2. So this is what we will substitute dito. So this is equal to the integral of 1 minus cosine 4x all over 2 dx. Isolate natin si constant. That will be 1 minus cosine 4x dx. Okay, so separately natin silang i-integrate. So this will be equal to 1 half times the integral of dx minus, okay, mag-let u muna tayo. So let u be equal to 4x. Du be equal to 4 dx. Then 1/4 du is equal to dx. So this is equal to 1 half times the integral of dx minus 1 over 4 the integral of cosine u du. Okay? So this is equal to 1 half times x minus 1/4. What is the integral of cosine u du? That is sine u. Okay, so simplifying, this will be equal to 1 half x minus 1 over 8 sine. Substitute back natin si u, which is si 4 over x. So this is the integral of our first term. So sa second term na tayo at the integral of sine squared 2x cosine 2x dx. So let u be equal to sine x. Then our du be equal to cosine 2x. And let u tayo dito. Cosine 2x. Hindi. Du natin will be 2 cosine 2x dx. Okay? Or cosine 2x, then the derivative of u, that will be equal to 2 dx. So, since cosine 2x dx lang to, we can cross multiply si 2 dito. So, this will be equal to 1 half du is equal to cosine 2x dx. So, we can plug this into our integrand. So, sine squared 2x is equal to u squared. And cosine 2x dx is equal to 1 half du times 1 half du. So, this is equal to 1 half times the integral of u squared du. So, this is equal to 1 half times u cubed all over 3. And substituting back the value of u, that is equal to 1 half times sine, or 1 over 6. Sige, 1 over 6 na lang. 1 over 6 sine cube x. Okay? So, meron na tayo ng dalawang integration separately. So, next slide. This will be equal to si 1 over 8 times, that is the first term, 1 half x minus 1 over 8 sine 4x. Okay, 4x minus, oh sorry, that will be minus sine cube 2x all over 6. And then limits from 0 to pi over 2. Okay? So, this gawin natin yung upper limits minus lower limits. So, this is equal to 1 over 8 multiplied by, sige, unahin natin to. That will be 1 half times pi over 2 minus 1 over 8 sine 4 times pi over 2. Okay? So, yan yung upper limit natin. Minus, si lower limit, 1 half times 0 minus 1 over 8 sine 4 times 0. Minus, gawin naman natin si upper limit and lower limit dito. So, this will be equal to sine cube 2 times pi over 2 all over 6. Okay? Minus sine cube 2 times 0 all over 6. Okay, so of course, sine 0 is equal to 0, so this will cancel as well as with this one, and a number multiplied by 0 is equal to 0. So we will be left with 1 over 8 times, okay, so this is equal to pi over 4. Pi over 4 minus, okay, so this will cancel, reduce to 2, that is sine 2 pi over 8. And for this one, this will cancel. So, matitira na lang will be negative sine cube pi over 6. Okay? So, if you input this in your calculator, ang lalabas na okay, wait lang. Ang lalabas na sagot will be a decimal value. But our final answer should be in fractional form. Okay, so pi over 32 yung sagot niya. But, when you input this on your calculator, so sa calculator ninyo, dapat naka-radians mode. Radian mode dapat siya. So, pag in-input mo siya, type mo is 1 over 8 times pi over 4 minus sine 2 pi over 8 minus sine pi cube over 6. Okay? And then, press mo si equals. Ang lalabas na sagot will be 0.9, 0.09, 0.9817, and so on. Okay? So, yan yung lalabas na sagot mo. But, naka-decimal siya. Dapat naka-fraction. So, how do we convert this decimal into fraction like this? So, ang gagawin mo is to separate mo muna si pi from here. Kasi may value si pi eh. May value si pi in decimal form. So, parang gagawin mo dito is magiging 1 over 32 times pi. So, how do you do this? Of course, you will divide this number with pi para ma-separate siya. So, ang gagawin mo is to, okay, so lumabas na to. Press answer, press AC muna. Okay, so press AC and then press mo si ans, which is beside the equal sign sa calculator ninyo. And then, input mo sa calculator mo is this one. Magiging ans over pi. So, divide mo siya by pi. So, lalabas na sagot, press equals. Lalabas na sagot will be 1 over 32. And then, manually, multiply mo si pi, which is the same as this one, diba? So, 1 over 32, dinivide mo si pi, that one. So, gagawin mo is multiply this with pi so that you will get the answer, pi over 32. Okay? So, manually na lang yung pag-substitute mo dito kasi kapag ginawa mo sa calculator, magka-cancel lang siya and babalik ka lang dito sa decimal value. So, that is what you will do sa inyong examinations. Okay? So, that is example number 3. So, pi over 32 yung sagot. Now, for example number 4, okay? So, example 4 na tayo. So, what we will do here, since this is an exponential and logarithmic, a linear and a logarithmic function, ang gagawin natin is the IBP. So, recall natin si IBP natin. Okay, so let u be equal to ln of x. So, our du is equal to 1 over x dx. The derivative of ln x is 1 over x. And our dv will be equal to x. So, v will be equal to x squared all over 2. Okay. So, plug na natin. Ano ba yung formula ng IBP natin? That is equal to the integral of x ln x is equal to uv minus the integral of v du. So, plug na natin. What is u? That is ln of x Tapos, v natin is x squared all over 2 minus the integral of x squared all over 2 times du 1 over x dx. Okay, so let's simplify. This will cancel. So, we will be left with x squared over 2 ln of x minus, okay, so isolate natin si constant, 1/2 times the integral of x dx. So, this will be equal to x squared ln of x over 2 minus 1/2 times x squared over 2 plus c. Hindi na wala ng plus c kasi definite na tayo. So, this will be equal to, and of course, yung limit natin is from 1 to e. Okay, 1 to e yan. I forgot, 1 to e. Okay. So, simplify muna natin. This will be equal to x squared ln of x over 2 minus x squared all over 4, limits from 1 to e. So, gagawin natin is to upper limit minus lower limit. So, this is equal to lahat ng x, substitute with e. So, e squared ln of e all over 2 minus e squared all over 4. And then minus natin si lower limit. So, that is equal to 1 squared ln of 1 over 2 minus 1 squared all over 4. Okay, so ln of e natin is equal to 1. Okay, so if you compute that on your calculator, that is equal to 1. And ln of 1 is equal to 0. So, if this is 0, then this whole fraction is equal to 0. So, we simplify further. This is equal to e squared all over 2 minus e squared over 4. And negative times negative, that is plus. 1 squared is 1. So, 1 over 4. Now, let's simplify further. Since same sila, we can subtract that. So, e squared over 2 minus e squared over 4, that is equal to e squared over 4. Okay, so e squared over 4 siya. E squared over 4 plus 1 over 4. Okay, and then we combine this one. So, the integral of x ln x dx, limits from 1 to e, is equal to, that will be equal to 4, and then e squared plus 1. So, ito ngayon yung answer natin for example number 4. So, that is how you integrate functions with limits. Okay, so that is definite integral.